You ever get the feeling you're not meant to die yet? You step out into danger. Something should happen, but it doesn't. You miss a moment, get delayed, blocked, frustrated. And then later, you find out. There was an accident, an attack, a tragedy. And had you been on time, had the car started, had the call come through, you would have been in it. Some people call it luck. Others call it fate. But some believe something far more structured is at play. A code. A pattern. An invisible force keeping certain people alive, not by chance, but by design. While Simon and Rachel are off working on another project, I'll be your narrator for this episode of the Cherrywood Conspiracy Files, the shadow-lurking, truth-chasing cousin of the Cherrywood podcast. It's what happens when Simon and Rachel are busy, but the mysteries won't wait. And today, we're not talking about ancient relics or UFO cover-ups. We're talking about Simon. Simon Burridge, filmmaker, podcaster, storyteller, and possibly a protected man. This is the theory of the protector code. It starts in childhood. Simon's walking home from school, chatting with his mates, not really looking. He steps into the road. At that exact moment, a cyclist slams into him, a solid impact. Behind the cyclist is a car. It hits the bike. The bicycle crumples, bent, smashed, crushed between Simon and the car's front end. The cyclist goes flying. The bike is destroyed. And Simon? He felt nothing. Not a scratch, not a bruise. He didn't even fall. The adults chalked it up to adrenaline, a miracle. But Simon always remembered that moment, because it wasn't just about survival. It was the absence of pain. The total, impossible lack of injury. It didn't feel like chance. It felt like a reset. Years later, it happens again. Simon's a teenager now, 17, maybe 18. He's got a girlfriend with a car, rare at that age, and like any teenage lad, he and his mates want to race. They line up on the one-way system. Young, dumb, excited. The lights are red, engines rev, green hits, and the other cars shoot off. But not Simon. His girlfriend's car is running, engine on, dashboard alive. But something's wrong. It's not taking over properly. There's no power. The car refuses to move. It just sits there, idling, like it knows something. Simon's stuck, frustrated, embarrassed. The others vanish down the road. Then, moments later, as soon as they're gone, the car surges back to life. Full power. No fault. Never happened again. Whatever stopped them on purpose. Fast forward to adulthood. Simon's working in videography. One of his mates needs help, second shooter for a job in London, near the Houses of Parliament. A good gig, right up his street. But for some reason, and he can't remember what, Simon can't go. Something stops him. Something just doesn't let him make it. He's got it. Feels like he's let his friend down. And then, the news breaks. There's been an attack. A man with a knife has breached Parliament. A police officer is killed. The attacker is shot dead. It's chaos. The second shooter who replaced Simon had to hit the ground. He was right there. Simon wasn't. He should have been, but something stopped him. Again. 3 different moments, 3 different stages of life, 3 times where Simon was supposed to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he wasn't. What if that's not coincidence? What if it's code? The theory behind the protector code suggests that certain individuals are, knowingly or unknowingly, under a form of reality shielding. An embedded safeguard system, not spiritual, not divine, but structural. Moments that should harm you get diverted. Moments that would change your path get blocked. You feel frustration, confusion, missed opportunity. But later, always later, it becomes clear. You weren't being denied something, you were being kept from something. This isn't guardian angels or magic. It's more subtle, more systematic, more quiet. It's not that you're immune to harm, it's that harm is rerouted before it reaches you. The mechanism? Unknown. Some believe it's quantum, a form of timeline manipulation that subtly resets micro-decisions. Others believe it's biological, that your instincts are enhanced, that your body delays you, subtly, through fatigue, distraction, or decision hesitation. And then there are those who say that it's technological, that a predictive system monitors your emotional state and places blocks in your path, digitally or physically, to prevent critical timeline shifts. And then there's a darker idea, that people like Simon are being preserved not for their sake, but for something else, something they haven't done yet, something they're meant to do, a future event, a critical role, a thread in a bigger web. And if they were removed too early, the whole thing would collapse. What if Simon isn't the only one? What if you have moments like these too? Delayed at lights, stuck behind a slow driver, missed a call, lost a booking, made a choice you can't explain, only to realize it saved you later. And what if those aren't coincidences? What if you're being watched, shielded, redirected? Not because you're lucky, but because the system won't let you die yet. Because somewhere, something knows. You're not done.
That's the phrase that keeps coming up in stories like Simon's. People who survive the unsurvivable. People who miss danger by a margin that feels too precise. Not wide, not dramatic, just surgical. A red light that holds a little too long. A car that won't start and then suddenly does. A forgotten call. A minor illness that delays a journey. A gut feeling that says, not today. And then, the news. An accident. An attack. A tragedy. You weren't there. You should have been. But something, somewhere, said no. The deeper we go into this theory, the more it begins to feel less like luck and more like a pattern. And that pattern has a name: the protector code. Some theorists believe it's built into the architecture of reality, a form of soft correction embedded in what they call consciousness-guided probability loops. According to this idea, people like Simon, people who will one day play a pivotal role even in small ways, cannot be removed too soon. And so events are rearranged around them, in microscopic ways. Not enough to be obvious, just enough to shift the timeline. You were meant to catch that train, but you dropped your keys. You were meant to walk down that alley, but your phone rang. You were meant to shoot that job, but something forgot to book you in. It's not divine intervention. It's not magic. It's programming. Preventative, predictive, and largely invisible. One model, known as the minimal intervention theory, claims the universe only intervenes at the smallest possible level to create the biggest possible divergence from danger. And that's why it never feels miraculous. It feels annoying, inconvenient, frustrating, until it doesn't. There's a growing community online, a shadow thread known simply as the spared ones. People who've started comparing notes. The stories vary, but the theme is the same. Near misses, delayed deaths, last-second exits. One user describes stepping into a lift that jammed just before it reached the top floor. He and his colleague were stuck for nearly 2 hours. When they finally got out, they saw smoke pouring from the roof of the building. An electrical fault had caused a fire. The lift's malfunction had been the only thing that kept them away. Another woman shares how she lost her car keys on the morning of a job interview she desperately needed. She missed it, furious, ashamed. That afternoon, the building was evacuated due to a gas leak. 5 people were hospitalized. 1 didn't make it. These aren't just moments of luck. They are interruptions, sudden edits to your timeline. And they almost always come with the same feeling. I wasn't supposed to be there. Simon has lived with this his whole life. From childhood to adulthood, something keeps stepping in, crushing a bicycle between him and a car without leaving a scratch, powering down a vehicle at the exact second a street race would have begun, blocking him from a filming job right before a terrorist attack at Parliament. The question he never stops asking is simple. Why? Why him? Why again and again? The answer? Maybe Simon's not meant to know. Maybe none of us are. But the theory doesn't end there. Some believe the protector code is a sign that your life is anchored to something ahead, something that must still happen, a future decision, a moment of influence, a single word said to the right person that ripples outwards in ways you'll never see. Until that happens, you stay protected. And once it does, the code disengages. You become like everyone else. No more shielding. No more delays. No more edits. You become vulnerable. And some say you can feel when the code lifts. You stop getting delayed. Things start going through even when they shouldn't. You feel exposed. Not unlucky, but visible. And when that happens, it's time to ask, did I do it? Was that moment the reason? Or is there more? So if you're listening to this now and thinking of your own moments, the missed flights, the diverted drives, the mysterious gut feelings that pulled you out of harm's way, ask yourself, have you noticed a pattern? Have you started to wonder why you keep getting spared? And if so, who or what is sparing you? Because if the protector code is real, then someone, somewhere, still needs you alive.
Club Awesome, for autistic children and their families, a place where everyone belongs and fun knows no age limit.
Today's sponsors are De Medici Associates, Chartered Structural and Civil Engineers.
Based in the UK with a worldwide reach.
Visit their website on demediciassociates.com.
Right at Home Medway, providers of safe and trusted quality care for adults in the comfort of their own home. Whether you need companionship, medication assistance, personal care, living care or more, we've got you covered. Visit rightathome.co.uk/medway or call them on 01634 979 000. Are you looking for a cleaning or facilities management? Clearwater Kent is your trusted local expert. From roofs and driveway cleaning to fully facilitated management, they're a fully licensed, award-winning business that you can count on. Visit clearwaterkent.co.uk or call 01634 681 885.
Need stunning video or photography for your big day or even your business? Cherrywood Production delivers award-winning results with a personal touch. From weddings to promotional content, we turn your vision into reality. Visit cherrywoodpro.com today. Your memories, our passion. Put your business in front of 30,000 new customers with the Hindsight Directory. This A5 full-colour magazine is delivered by Royal Mail to Maidstone, Gravesend, Medway and Bromley, with more areas to come. Visit hindsightdirectory.co.uk.
New Digital, helping businesses build their online presence with web design, SEO, Google Ads and social media. Get 10% off when you quote Cherrywood today. Visit their website at nudigitalera.co.uk.